All right, you guys, we have some new news about Carmelo Anthony. If you guys are coming in, please press that too. Let me know that you guys are here and you can hear me good. Hello, hello, hello. So they are pulling up reports. Yeah, they are pulling up reports on Jeff Metcalf. They have the receipts. When I tell you it's not looking good. And since the receipts are coming out, I'm not hearing any noise. Why is he not responding? Did the judge give him another gag order? Like, what's really going on here? So I just want to know your thoughts about this. So let's deep dive and see what they have out here on the internet regarding this because there's so much. Now, first, I'm going to give it off to Godfrey. He is a YouTuber, comedian, and oftentimes he talk about stuff like this. But he's going off. He's talking about Carmelo Anthony and how three white boys were coming to attack him, and he did nothing but defend himself. And now he's faced with 35 years. So let's hear what he got to say.
So this whole case with Carmelo Anthony getting 35 years in prison for protecting himself, defending himself from a bunch of white dudes trying to fuck him up, pretty much, is mad shady. All white juror, and the father is spewing a lot of he just went online spewing a bunch of racial.
I got a new name for Mello. Okay, how about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you?
Watermelon felon, saying all kind of racial. And he goes, this is not about race, but he's saying all this, of course, ignorant racial about Carmelo, about his parents, the whole.
Yeah, because if it's not about race, then why go there? Why go there? Why? Why go there? Why attack Carmelo and why attack Carmelo parents? They didn't come out to attack him. Carmelo didn't come out to attack you, and you're supposed to be a Christian. So why are you attacking the family? Oh, because black people in the comment section is saying shit? So what? White people in the comment section are saying shit too. So because black people in the comment section saying shit, now you want to respond and you want to attack the family. Nigga, please. You been wanting to attack the family. You just wanted an excuse to attack the family. So your excuse was black people commenting, and that's why you attacked the family unprovoked. They ain't did shit to you. They haven't spoke out about you or nothing. Okay? So yeah, this is how he is. This is what they do.
Right? And listen, it's unfortunate that his son passed away, but they were coming to harm a black kid who was 100 and whatever, some odd pounds.
That's right. These three white boys, his son, they have bad intentions. Jeff Metcalf, he has a horrible anger problem. They say he's very abusive, and these white boys watch his father abuse their mom. Like so, just like father, like son, they have a lot of aggression. They were raised in a broken home. They don't have a full home. So it does something to a child when you're growing up in a broken home and your father is beating on your mama. And so they have a lot of frustration because of the father. The father has failed them. And now they going around town looking to see who they can kill, steal, and destroy. And they went to go provoke Carmelo Anthony, but guess what? God was on Carmelo Anthony's side. God was on Carmelo Anthony's side. Whew.
And the dudes were like 200 something pounds. He was defending himself. I'm hoping that there's an appeal because you got Dr. Candace Matthews, who's really working hard on this. She's really digging up a lot of information on a lot of these cats. And I hope that Carmelo Anthony will get an appeal. He deserves an appeal because this is ridiculous. You guys let me know, and I hope that he gets some justice because it wasn't his fault. Stuff happens when you fight, and it was 3 or 4 against 1, which white dudes always fight unfairly. White men kill black men left and right, and people get off. So we'll see.
Y'all can let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral. I got a new name for Mello. Okay, Because he was such a little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you?
So this whole case with Carmelo Anthony getting 35.
That's terrible.
We have some big news in the Carmelo Anthony case. Representatives for his family state that he has been moved to an undisclosed location. This is for his safety following several threats he's allegedly received over the weekend. And in addition to Carmelo Anthony being moved to this secreted location.
Hold on. So he been getting threats. I wonder who he's been getting threats from. We know it ain't black people. Who has he been getting threats from? White people. So they are threatening him. And then Jeff Metcalf, he is threatening him and the family online. And he didn't have to do that.
Outside of where his family currently lives in a gated community in a $900,000 home. This marks the third time a member of Austin Metcalf's family has been the victim of a swatting incident. Now, this information came to the media through Minister Dominique Alexander, the representative and spokesperson for the Anthony family. In addition to this release to the media, there were images released of the mail that has been sent to the Anthony family. Now, while it appears the Carmelo Anthony family still has private security and Carmelo Anthony himself has been moved to this secreted, undisclosed location, the Metcalf family. We have some big news in the Carmelo Anthony case. Representatives for his family state that he has been moved to an undisclosed location. This is for his safety following several threats he's allegedly received over the weekend. And in addition to Carmelo Anthony being moved to this secreted location outside of where his family currently lives in a gated community in a $900,000 home, this marks the third time a member of Austin Metcalf's family has been the victim of a swatting incident. Now, this information came to the media through Minister Dominique Alexander, the representative and spokesperson for the Anthony family. In addition to this release to the media, there were images released of the mail.
Whew, honey, I tell you, this is a lot going on. This is a lot going on.
Okay, just watch this.
Social media just generally got it wrong. I mean, and that, let me address that specifically, is I don't know the Metcalfs. I have never met the Metcalfs. I have never socialized with the Metcalfs. I would know the Metcalfs if they walked in this, before the trial, if they walked up to me and said hello. And so it's ridiculous. And that's just people trying to drive their agenda and drive something. But you shouldn't do that. Even in social media, if you're going to call yourself a new organization or independent journalist or whatever you want to call yourself, if you're spreading lies, then you're not a journalist. And so I don't know what to do about it. I know what I did about it in this case, which is just ignored them and did my job. But I think long term, that's going to impact people's ability to get the news and get it right and get the truth. And that's sad. And I don't like it, but it's something we're going to have to.
Okay, just watch this.
Social media just generally got it wrong. I mean, and that, let me address that specifically, is I don't know the Metcalfs. I have never met the Metcalfs. I have never socialized with the Metcalfs. I would know the Metcalfs if they walked in this, before the trial, if they walked up to me and said hello. And so it's ridiculous. And that's just.
Whew, I tell you, this is something else, ain't it?
Roll the clip.
Regular customers of the Classic Mart family business in the medical center area say they're sharing the heartache of a vicious attack of senseless violence overnight. Police say a 25-year-old store clerk was stabbed to death when he refused to sell a 99-cent tobacco.
All right, so let's go here.
From people like Jeffrey.
Got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such a little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you?
A watermelon felon. Watermelon felon? Looks like the felon here is you, Jeff. Jeffrey Charles Metcalf, who in 2011 was charged with SA. Yep, that's right. I even fact checked these records. So it looks like the felon we really need to hide our kids from, hide our daughters from, hide our women from is Jeffrey here. And if you want to be able to pull receipts like this, check out my online class, Get the Receipts, where I teach you how to do background checks so you can protect yourself from people like Jeffrey.
Got a new name for Mello, okay?
Whoa, they pulling up all the stuff. Guess what? I have a video right here. I'm going to pull it up for you guys right now. You guys have to see this because this is crazy. Here it is. This is what I was looking for. When I tell you this guy, the introvert rock star, he really comes with it. I want to share his video with you guys. I want to react to it.
We hold this racist system accountable because if we don't, who will? And if you don't like it, get to stepping because it ain't gonna stop. And since Mr. Jeff want to call Carmelo a watermelon felon, well, let's travel back in time right quick to remind him who he is. Man, run the tape.
Hey, TikTok. I told you that when I came back, I would share some information with this platform. So at 4:30, I came on and I shared this. No other network has done this. You've seen it first right here with me. Breaking news. Jeffrey Metcalf. I broke it. I broke it to the internet. Now, if you see it anywhere else, just know where they got it from. They got it from me. No other news network, no other TikToker, no other creator has this. In 2011, Jeffrey Metcalf was arrested for SA. Those twins.
What? Can you guys see the video or you guys can't see the video? Press 2 if you can't see the video. I don't know why you can't see the video. Can you see this
Carmelo
video?
Anthony case.
Yes, sir.
Do you think
I wonder why you can't. Can you still can't see it? Can you guys see this video? Let me know. Because I can't see it on my screen. So let me do this. All right. So did you hear that? They are saying that he is involved in SA. SA. Can you guys believe that? SA. That's crazy. And I thought he was just putting hands on his wife or his ex-wife. I had no idea that he was involved with SA. And who did he SA? I mean, these are some serious allegations here. Hey, Robbie, how are you? I had no idea that he was involved with SA. Did you guys know he was involved with SA? If you guys knew he was involved with SA, please press a 3 if you guys knew he was involved with SA. I had no idea. All right, so let me know if you guys can see this. All right, so I'm going to play it a little bit.
We hold this racist system accountable because if we don't, who will? And if you don't like it, get to stepping because it ain't gonna stop. And since Mr. Jeff want to call Carmelo a watermelon felon, well, let's travel back in time right quick to remind him who he is. Man, run the tape.
Hey, TikTok. I told you that when I came back, I would share some information with this platform. So at 4:30, I came on and I shared this. No other network has done this. You've seen it first right here with me. Breaking news. Jeffrey.
Why did it take y'all so long to put this up? Like, why did it take everybody so long to put this up? Do you guys think they took so long to find this information to put this up? This information should have been done before the court. We should have been talking about him like this way before. Like, what is going on? Why didn't we do all this? Like, why didn't Carmelo Anthony family pull out the dirt about this guy or the family? Or why didn't Charleston White pull out all the dirt? You know, I think it's like, really? Y'all should have been said this.
Metcalf. I broke it. I broke it to the internet.
All right. Well, he broke it. You broke it ass late. You should have broke it earlier. Somebody says public record. It may be public record. So if it's public record, it's no excuse. Then why we just learn about this? We should have been putting this shit on him before the court. Everybody in that courthouse should have been looking at his ass like he's a effing essay. Okay? Everybody. I think we are very short because you guys know, let that black man, Anthony Carmelo's father, had an essay charge on him. Don't you know they would have ran that shit always? And that's the reason why Carmelo did what he did, because he got a father out here that's an essay. They would have ran that shit over and over and over and over and over and over again. We lacking. We too busy playing defense. We need to be on the offense. Shit. Attack first. What the fuck I'm gonna wait for? I'm not gonna sit here and wait for my enemy to come for me. Bitch, you my enemy. I'm already on that ass, okay? Shit. But let's go. Let's get these likes up.
Now, if you see it anywhere else, just know where they got it from. They got it from me. No other news network, no other TikToker, no other creator has this.
All right. Robbie said that it was in a spotlight last year. That's why he fell back. Well, shit, we should have always used this to shut his ass up. Damn, we should have been had this. So I'm going to put the link in here just in case Robbie or anybody else want to come up and speak. I appreciate you guys coming up and speaking. So I'm going to put that link in the chat right now as I play.
2011, Jeffrey Metcalf was arrested for SA. Those twins was 4 years old at the time. Shortly after that, the mother, Megan, packed up those fucking twins and got the fuck out of that house. Let's put the blame on him. Let's blame him for his son not being here. We need to shift focus. I don't mind dragging a Metcalf through the fucking mud if I could save Carmelo Anthony's fucking life.
After Jeff Metcalf publicly called Carmelo Anthony names and continued speaking about Carmelo's family, social media users began revisiting Jeff's past. As a result, an old criminal record has resurfaced online, fueling debate and criticism from people who believe the public should examine all sides of the story. Make that make sense. And again, in the words of the Williams brothers, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. Jeffrey. See, Carmelo was only 17 when he caught his charge, but you was 46 years old and saying people. You was 46 years old assaulting people, you big dummy. And then you had the audacity, bro, to call Carmelo a watermelon felon. So it's only right.
Oh, I think more people need to speak about this. I think you guys need to make this a big news. Make it a big news where Fox News is going to have to respond. Make it a big news where all these YouTubers, they're going to have to respond to this. Make it that big of a deal. We need to make this like a huge, big deal. Don't you guys agree? Press 3 if you guys agree that we need to make this a big deal, because something is not right here. Something is not right. This right here is given awful, right? All right. So let me try to pin. I'm going to pin the link so everybody can see. All right. I'm going to continue to play.
give you a nickname. I'm gonna start calling you Epstein Jr. If you know, you know. But we'll talk about that later on in this video. So before I spaz out, look, y'all, I'm far from perfect, and I'll be trying to let things go, bro. But at night when I'm sleeping, if something on my mind, I gotta speak on it, bro. And I feel like we moved on too fast from this video, so I need y'all to really listen to what he's trying to say. Man, run the tape.
You don't even know who your daddy is because 78% of you don't have your father in the home anymore. You got baby mamas running around with 8 kids so they can get EBT cards to feed you all. You think I'm being racist? No, I'm being real. Oh, you got more melanin than me. Ooh, so you get more privileges, more entitlement? Because 400 years ago, someone actually sold you to us, and we took you over here and put you to work. And then we had a civil war to free your ass. And now you want to talk shit? Oh, I've been so oppressed. You couldn't even vote 1960.
We couldn't vote because of you, dummy. Like, okay, we could not vote. Who made us not vote? Who created us to make us not human? It was you. So when you're saying we give you the right to vote, that's not giving me a favor when you took it. You took my shit from me and now you're giving it back and you expect a fucking thank you. You don't get no thank you. You shouldn't have took it from me in the first place. How about that? I mean, the entitlement, the craziness, how he's talking, it's bananas. All right, we have Brian Hill. How you doing, Brian?
Oh shit! Hello.
Yes, Brian, you're live on the air.
All right. Yeah. What's up? Damn. I hope I called the right one. All right. 30. Okay. So we talk about Carmelo Anthony, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So who's all in agreement? Free Carmelo, real quick, before I say what I got to say.
Okay, Brian,
Okay.
did you just watch the clip that we just played, or you just tuned in?
No. Yes, ma'am. Matter of fact, okay. So look, so I just got in a matter of fact.
Okay, well, just take your time. I'll come back to you because I want to stay on what he just said.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. All right.
Look how far you've come. Look at all the free shit we give you. You're not oppressed.
Okay, look how far we come. Who put us back? Your people purposely put us back, and we have to fight our way to get what we are now, and we're still not equals. So you did this. How can you hit me and then say, be thankful I didn't hit your ass again? It's like you hit me and then you give me some ice and you want to get a reward for being a good guy. It's like, well, I brung you the ice. You can barely walk after I whooped your ass, but I'm bringing you ice. Like, do you hear yourself? Like, you all are very nuts to think that somebody should be thankful for the shit you damage somebody, okay? And you bring them ice and you expect a damn award.
You're fucking entitled.
You are entitled. I don't get him. Do you guys get him when he says we're entitled? I don't get it at all.
You know what DEI stands for? Yeah. Means I don't have to be fucking qualified. I just have to be a certain color or a race or gender. Whose broad ass idea was that? I'm gonna tell you right now. Charleston White? You think you're funny? We'll see who's laughing. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy I was trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you? I hope he enjoyed his first night in that cell last night, because he's going to have many nights to think about what the fuck he did.
According to CDC data, Black fathers are among the most involved fathers in America and often remain highly engaged with their children, even when they do not live in the same household. The report found Black fathers frequently participate in caregiving, meals, homework, and daily activities, while non-resident black fathers generally report more contact with their children than non-resident white fathers. Make that make sense. And in the words of Luther Vandross, I'll play a song that would never ever end. How I love, love, love to dance with my father again. But guess what, Epstein Jr.? Those same black fathers you talking down on, the same ones that got baby mama problems, the same ones that got problems with their kids, eventually they'll get to dance with their kids.
All right, we got Robbie here. Mr. Blue, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I
Evening.
can hear. It's bare. I can make it. Keep talking. I gotta really judge. I can't judge from seconds.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Keep talking. Yeah.
Yeah, what I was going to say, stereotypes are not facts. And I think that's basically what it boils down to. Historically, we've always been gaslit with the same stereotypes, and it's just a way of them deflecting so they don't have to look in the mirror. So he's projecting about himself. He's an absentee father. He's a daytime alcoholic and a nighttime alcoholic. He's somebody who obviously was a bully to his own wife, because that's the only way he felt like he had any power in his life. And like I said, from my studying, when they bring up all of these, social disparities and inequalities, they correlate with economics. So, when I've looked at graphs and I've looked at, historical parallels between racial violence and, again, their need to latch on to these stereotypes so they can have some type of identity, it's always linked with economics. Our middle class was zero from 1750 all the way to 1850. So you mean to tell me for 100 years, while they were in the colonies and even while they were quote unquote free white men after 1776, a lot of them didn't have a robust middle class. You had the trillionaires and billionaires of their day basically exploiting them for their labor. So their middle class was like 20, let's say 30%, if that. Ours was zero. So how are you going to have us with no wealth, not the ability to own land, not the ability to really progress? Because the one privilege that they have on this tiered system of white supremacy is the ability to exclude. So they're like a bouncer in the front of the club. They can decide who can be let in and who can be let out. So if you intentionally shut people out, just to maintain, the social norms of economic equality, and then for him to run his mouth now, today in 2026, well, it delights me, because the reason why Austin was a bully and the reason why he's a daytime drinker is because I'm pretty sure his stock portfolio isn't looking great. You got a trillionaire in Elon panicking, talking about white birth rates. All of that stuff is the result of the society that they've created, where it's barely affordable to live. We're not the ones making those type of decisions. And if they're honest, they figure we're people that they can pick on because they feel like we can't defend ourselves. We either don't have the media apparatus, or they're able to deny us justice, like say with Carmelo. And that's why I think it's a shock to a lot of us, because we feel like, man, this feels like something I've seen out of a movie. This seems like something from, the 1900s or something, when the KKK used to be around. Well, yeah, because at that time, the more violent they are, the harsher the economy is. So they start discriminating against, immigrants. They'll start making an excuse about, an LGBTQ person. When in reality, a lot of them are closeted, which I kind of feel that about him and a lot of them, that I think it's about power. It's not about love. So you give any of them a little bit of power and they'll be on an Epstein trip. And then if you think about it, Trump himself has lowered the bar, where it seems like it's acceptable to just be, a bully, to be somebody that's not sophisticated, to be somebody who basically appeals to people's, anger and frustration. But meanwhile, the middle class is still shrinking. So as this economy goes into the toilet, you're going to have more guys like him make these daytime drunk confessions. And I'm not here to listen. Obviously, his ex-wife didn't want to listen to his whining and complaining and this fake victimhood from him, because even when they were at their worst, when they were going through the Great Depression, their middle class was at 30%, right? That means 3 out of 10 people were able to eat like a civilized person, and 7 out of 10 were poor, and they were still practicing racism against us. So when they finally got the New Deal and they got their middle class up to 70%, our middle class barely started getting to 30, which was like Great Depression levels. So think about it. It took 200 years for our middle class just to reach 10%. And that's why a lot of our people start talking about the talented 10. So just think about what we've done. We've managed to create inventions. We've managed to solve problems. We've managed to adapt. Most importantly, we've managed to love, and we've been the integrity for the world. And we've had some of the greatest minds and entertainers in the world because we were incubated in oppression. And when people intentionally give you lack, don't give you the best food and deny you opportunities just out of their insecurity, they can say, well, you're not intelligent enough or you're not the right color. You're going to invent the broom because you're going to be tired of somebody telling you to clean up and you need to do it more efficiency. You're going to invent the cotton gin. You're going to invent the wrench. You know what I'm saying? Out of love and wanting to help humanity, you're going to do what George Washington Carver did with the plant. You know what I'm saying? We're responsible for blood transfusions and open heart surgery. So just because you try to hide our contributions to society, but then you get here and you say, I'm not, you try to preference it. I'm not racist. And then you go through the same, I don't know, stereotypes that you hear them say for like the past 50 years. You know what I say to them? You got 40 million African Americans who are taxpayers that are not felons. But you'll be asphyxiated on a small slither of black people on one block in Chicago, where you probably live in Iowa or East Bumble, Utah somewhere. And if you saw a black person, it would be a Bigfoot sighting. So why is all this asphyxiation on this black boogeyman? He knew his son was a bully. He know his son seen him bully. And you know what? All behaviors learn behavior. So whatever his sons came up in their mind of what a man is so supposed to be and what a white man is supposed to be, they acted just like their dad. They're like, I'm going to be a white supremacist bully who plays the victim. If Carmelo would have got the best of them and didn't use a knife, how much you want to bet they would have still had a press conference with a black eye talking about we're the victim. He was violent. You know, they can come up with revisionist history. Stereotypes are not facts. So that's why when it's on X or some of these other spaces, I don't even argue with these people because their intentions are never good. You know what I mean? And like my mom used to say, evildoers will be cut off. They're about to reap what they sow. They're very, very close to being back to the low middle class numbers that they had before the New Deal, and they have themselves to blame. So all these other issues that they're dealing with are linked with greed and linked with, I say all the time, they take 500 milligrams of denial every day. And then they shoot 30 cc's of Trump semen in their jaw, apparently, because it gives them bravery. And I land my plane.
Well, keep going. They're listening. All right. So we have Miss Jones here.
Yeah.
Jones, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Please talk.
This man here is really, it is sad to say. In this day and time that we live in, we know what time it is. But I believe this man has so much guilt and he wants to blame everybody else. And the entire whole family, they are lying on this child. And it's a hurting thing. But the bottom line is, all the evidence is constantly coming out. And I don't foresee how he think he can keep it hidden. But this man is a monster. It's sad to say. And he still have one son living. But in all consciousness, Hunter started to mess off, and all the lies and stuff about his brother. And I hate his brother's no longer here. But saying his brother died in his arm and all that he was doing was a lie. And people need to know that's not a whole tent. It's like a shelter half. And the lies is being told. And everything, the people that seen the video, the actual seen the clear video, they signed up to go see it, almost verbatim saying the same thing. And there was never any doubt in my mind that this child was being railroaded. So we need to keep him prayed up and do everything that we possibly can, to keep his morale up. And I don't believe all that crap they're saying about his parents either. It's a sad time, and to talk about racism is real and it's very prevalent, and it hasn't just started. It's been here. And when there were times when people appeared that it had gone, I am 74 years old, that it has subsided. Well, I will be 74 next month. This is crazy to me. I don't understand this. What happened to my phone?
All right, Robbie, what are your thoughts on that?
I have a question for Miss
Did I
Jones.
lose it?
Miss Jones, are you there? Hello, Miss Jones, can you hear me? Maybe she can't hear me.
Yeah, something's going on. No, I'm gonna
Yeah, I
have to
think she's
kick
having
her
some.
out so she can come back.
Yeah, I was going to ask her because I really didn't make the connection until recently, a couple of years ago, when my mom passed, and then I thought about my dad, serving as a Vietnam veteran. My parents didn't bring up race a whole lot because growing up in the 80s, I think we were the Bill Cosby generation. We were the first of a new fruits, that were embracing this whole idea of diversity and opportunity. And, there was desegregation. So obviously I didn't grow up under segregation, but I didn't make the connection until I remember hearing my mom say, when she was in high school or whatever, they started integrating the schools. I didn't think anything of it because, we see black and white footage. So what I was going to say to the previous sister is, obviously, she probably grew up in a time, and we take it for granted, some of our elders were in the tail end of segregation. Or when they were little kids, they still were alive when segregation happened. So these people try to make it seem like, to her point, like racism is a thing of the past. And you have both liberals and Republicans, which all of them are white supremacists at the end of the day, because what they do is they cover for people like Austin Metcalf's father. It's okay for you to be a criminal, but people are going to give you benefit of the doubt and they allow you to be comfortable in the community. I don't feel sorry for Austin Metcalf because he was a criminal. What he did was a criminal act under law. You know what I mean? And if there was enough adults doing their job, and again, not coddling a white supremacist or a bully or a criminal, they would have stopped it immediately. When I was in school, I even have to give the white teachers credit that I knew. If two students even seemed like they were arguing, they'd be like, break it up, break it up, break it up. I'm talking about that's in high school, elementary, whenever. Now, if you choose to leave school grounds and you're not under the jurisdiction or the umbrella of the school district, then the school's not responsible. So when they keep saying, don't bring a weapon on school grounds and all that, this exaggeration, well, I hope the family sues them because the school had an obligation to protect all of those children. That means the security guards there were negligent. In other words, they done seen these boys sit here and bully before. And that's what I'm saying. If you tolerate a little bit of evil, you're going to tolerate a lot. There's no such thing as being a little bit pregnant. There's no such thing as I have a little bit of cancer and I'm going to ignore it. As soon as the doctor tells you that you got cancer, you know what you're going to do? You're going to stop smoking. You're going to try to find you some Dr. Sabi oils. You know what I'm saying? You're going to start binge watching a bunch of health videos if you never did. You're going to put your treadmill to work. Forget black fatigue. You're going to be fatigued for real because your instincts to survive are going to kick in. And that's my point. Their survival instincts kick in by them being able to live with themselves when they look in the mirror by harming black folks. They've always used this as like the spillway for a dam. So it doesn't overflow and there's not damage. We're like the levee. They're like, okay, we got to let this tension flow here because this person is having money problems. This person feels insecure. And sadly, they're in a community that's predominantly white that condones their criminality. So as much as they try to talk about our criminal statistics, the boogeyman, Frankenstein, is in your subdivision. Dr. Frankenstein are people like Trump, Elon, these very, very rich folks. Then you have some of these Uncle Toms that are like Igor. You know what I'm saying? They're there to kind of assist because they realize Dr. Frankenstein knows how to have mind control over these dangerous, low impulse brutes. They're not intelligent, but they're useful to keep everybody else in check. So you don't have whistleblowers. So you don't have people who hold this person accountable because you can tell he's probably an angry alcoholic who hangs out with a whole bunch of other white supremacists and he's connected. So do you think somebody wants to come against him? His own wife was afraid of him. Why would she leave him? Because he's not just dangerous physically. She's like, man, this guy's connected. So if he does, SA or do any domestic violence, probably they're going to give him a slap on the wrist. And that's what Austin probably figured,
Blue,
I'm going to get a slap on the wrist. Go ahead.
Blue, I'm going to be right back. Okay. Just take over. Okay. I'll be back.
All right.
Is
Yeah.
that okay?
So
Okay.
no, that's fine. That's fine. All I was going to say real quick is that's what it boils down
No,
to.
not real quick. I need you to take over the live real quick. I'm going to be back.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah. If people can tolerate me babbling, I'm a babble till you get back. So this is the whole point, family, that they've created an environment where these people feel comfortable festering like a cancer. Because these people allow people like this in their family to be coddled, to intimidate others. They entrench themselves in law enforcement. They try to make sure they're either in proximity to authority or they place themselves in a position of authority so they can be abusive. Narcissists need a supply. Narcissists need to make it about themselves. So, and in psychology, that's what they call it. They call it projecting. People will project to the world what's going on subconsciously in their mind and in their heart. The Bible says the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So all of these things that this man is saying, and that's why somebody made a point. They said, that's why they gave him a gag order. They know the kind of man he is. We don't need you to be a daytime racist alcoholic going on a rant because we're trying to control the narrative and make it seem like your criminal son is a victim. Only in the system of white supremacy can they use that type of ill logic. But then we're dealing with people who don't use basic math and ill logic. They don't even understand probability. So like I said, I'll go back. If you go back to the colonies and their middle class, if the true middle class was 10%, that means 1 out of 10 people were just basically could own land and just, eat a decent meal consecutively. And they accepted that reality. I'm talking about fleeing being peasants in Europe. They come here to be serfs and peasants, and they tolerated an unjust system like that because they were religiously brainwashed. They thought being poor was a way of being pious and associating themselves with God. And again, they made sure they gave them an underclass of people to look down upon. After Bacon's Rebellion. If you guys get a chance, look up Bacon's rebellions in the colonies, and it had everything to do about workers' rights and equality. Now, Bacon was being a little bit prejudiced against Native Americans, but the elite people who were probably the top, when we talk about the top 1% or half of 1%, that means forget, the little 10% of people that, can just somewhat do okay. You have the very, very, very zenith of the society that basically own everything and have all the power. And that's the type of society they've accepted. So even once the country was founded, and I think that's only because they started to collect more tax revenue and all that, they maybe expanded that middle class to maybe 20%. But that still means 2 out of every 10 people don't have to, live paycheck to paycheck, can actually own a little bit of the American dream. And again, they could be facilitators to control the rest of them. So anytime any of them start thinking, they point to racism. They point to they point to patriotism. They allow them to be bigoted Christians and not point out the hypocrisy. As long as they trade in all of their time and their energy to make somebody else rich. And that's why they're walking around bitter like Oscar the Grouch all the damn time. Because if they don't have a trash can on the inside, they know their own history. They've lived in a fucking trash can. They've lived in a trash can all this time and tried to call it the American dream. And just for trash off the elite white man's table, they tried to lock us out. So we didn't even have a middle class. We've had skilled people, intelligent people, brilliant people. That's why as soon as slavery was over, because you did have a handful of free black people in the colonies, our middle class was still at 0. That's why, like right now, if you look at the racial wealth gap today in 2026, from Reconstruction to now, our wealth has been 0.5%. What does that mean? That means if you took 100 pieces of candy for Halloween, and you told a little white kid, I want you to spread these resources with everyone else, that means you take one Tootsie Roll and bite it in half. So you keep 99.5% of the candy for yourself, and you take this 1/2 of a Tootsie Roll and you tell 40 million people to split it. Like what this, I want y'all to understand, this is the type of asinine logic that these people are using. These are the kind of people that you're talking to in 2026 that got to sit here and pull out these regurgitated racist talking points and tropes that have worked to control them for the last 100, 200 years. The devil, there's nothing new under the sun. They don't got no new arguments. So if you sit here and actually try to use integrity and actually use logic, you'll get yourself exhausted trying to debate with them. No, Carmelo handled the situation right, just like a lot of us have done. Like at some point, you got to stop talking and you got to defend yourself, or you got to G-check these people because their brain don't click. They're obviously not that smart. You're dealing with a monster. And these elites make sure they keep some of these monsters around to intimidate their own people. So they don't ask for higher wages. So they don't ask for universal health care. So they don't ask and question some of the social norms that they have. It took for our people to have courage because we're like, look, man, what do we have to lose? You're not letting us in the middle class. Our wealth is 0.5%, and somehow we still manage to keep our families intact, feed our babies, start businesses, be self-sufficient, but most importantly, hold on to our integrity and our humanity. So that's the only thing that I see is they have weaponized our integrity against us. There's just certain things we won't do. We would never have the Emmett Till equivalent in our community, where we would just intentionally harm a white child out of, some, misguided bigotry. I've never seen my mother do that ever in her life. We don't make being poor an excuse to be a bigot, but they make being poor an excuse to be a bigot because they don't have the courage to go against the government, and they do double talk when they're dealing with rich, elite white men like Elon and Trump. They want to be in their favor. They want to be rich, white, with no accountability. And the bigotry is just, that's just a form of entertainment. It makes them feel fun to gaslight us while we're using logic and integrity to just deny us justice, or to get you fired from a job, or to see you lose your home. The fact that they can enact brutality on you as a stress reliever, but not be held accountable, that's a dopamine fix for them. It doesn't make them rich. But they're trying to mimic the people that they see up top that are doing, SA, that's doing sex traffic, that's hoarding all the resources for themselves. And they have like this little elite special club. So white supremacy is not just a social construct, it's an attitude. And it's an attitude reaped in anti-blackness. And that's almost like the gang initiation. That's almost like the litmus test. How much anti-blackness do you have? Or if you're black, how much self-hatred and insecurity are you carrying so that you're willing to be a useful tool? Because you're scared of the same white supremacist monster. You just hope that you can be insulated enough so that you can survive. You don't want to dismantle racism, white supremacy. You're trying to find a comfortable place in it. So that's why you'll have somebody like Charleston White do what he did. You know, that's why we'll have some of these other people that'll make these just real condescending remarks and make it seem like we got to do better. When do we start speaking French? You know, when do we start speaking French? Why is it that we always have to be the one? If there's been anyone who's been a model, quote unquote, minority in America, it's been us, because we're the original minority by design. And we've been sabotaged economically, intentionally. So all of this stuff he's making it seem like they invited us over for dinner. We brought you over here and da 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 da. I'm like, bro, you look at the graphs, it'll make you tell the Republicans and the Democrats and all these white supremacists to shut up. It's like, y'all literally just denied us employment. Just so you could create high unemployment so you can have desperate, highly skilled workers. So you'll be thankful for whatever crumbs they give you. That's the kind of scenario and dynamics that they created. I'm talking about for hundreds of years. The black middle class really didn't boom till after the civil rights movement. So a lot of the luxuries that we enjoy, the ability to be able to shop at any store that we want to, the ability for people to be able to take their hard-earned money and go and watch a Knicks game or a Lakers game, and you can get courtside seats. That's why they have disdain. They've always had disdain for the black celebrity, especially the black celebrity that they can't control. It's all about controlling narratives. They envy. That's why it makes so much sense. Imagine our middle class is like 1 or 2%, but they see a black man somehow beat the odds, and he has acres of land and he has a successful farm and he's on the black side of town. That makes you see, you know how they're always coming in our spaces and coming around us being real racist? It's like, how did you know this Negro got all this land and he's doing good? He's following the rules that you set. It's a segregated town. But if they figure you got some oil on that land, or just the fact that they see that you're doing well, they have the ability to come ride on your side of town, but you can't ride on their side of town. So it's almost like they're shopping for real estate. Or they're like this degenerate. They're a drunk daytime drinker. And when they get done beating their wife, and when they get done beating on their children, they still have to look in the mirror and realize that the American dream is just that, a dream. They start using real math instead of this per capita white supremacist math. And they realize, man, I'm a goofy. I'm probably never going to meet this rich elite status. So I need to take my anger out on someone. You know? So you're back, Gigi?
Yeah, I'm back. You heard
Okay.
me?
I hear you now. I'm going to land my plane now. I hope I did an okay job.
You did an amazing job. You know they love to hear you. You look at the
I can't
comments.
see anything.
Oh, well, they're saying 100% truth.
Thank you.
Yes. Did you guys enjoy Mr. Blue? Press 7 if you guys enjoyed Mr. Blue. You have so many heart emojis. You have so many fire emojis. So yeah. Right. Robbie Blue, they killed Emmett Till. Yep. Everybody's agreeing with you. I knew I'll land this in good hands.
I definitely appreciate it. And it's important. You know what I think, just for our collective mental health? I think a lot of times people just want to make sure that they're not tripping and bugging, and want to know that there's other people who are seeing the world the same way they're seeing it. But at the same point in time, we're not giving into fear. You know what I'm saying? We can see, like the Bible says, no weapon formed against you will prosper. That doesn't mean you don't see the weapon form. And that's what I'm saying. In the end, they're digging a pit for themselves. Like, this is how I look at it. You had 250 years to share, and you chose not to share any of that wealth. So now the same rich elite people who wanted to have the middle class at 20% for them, which means 8 out of 10 of them would have nothing and just have bigotry and fake Christianity. It's like, if they're not careful and their hearts keep being hardened like Pharaoh, and they keep trying to pick on us and mess with us, they're too busy not paying attention that the middle class is dissolving like cotton candy. So all that ill-gotten gain, it's, in other words, it's not going to benefit them. They're about to lose whatever little wealth they think they got. And you know what? I got my popcorn out. I'm going to enjoy it. So the more he uses the N word, the more it lets me know he's afraid.
Yeah, that's right. Do you think, how long do we have to wait until the appeal?
Well, I'm like everyone else. I'm waiting to see what the family's going to do. Like, I hope that they don't go with a public defender. And I also hope that any of the celebrities, well, it doesn't take the celebrities. It could be us who also donate. But, that's the problem. You'll have people come up and say that they're going to do something. But I think that if you really want to do something, you'll do it in private. Like the Bible says, what you do in secret, God will reward you openly. This is not the time for somebody to make it about themselves. I'm really trying to follow the lead of the family, because if anybody gets anything wrong, because this is not going to be a retrial, it's an appeal. So there's a certain set of parameters that they have to show. Like, for instance, the relationship between the judge and the DA and his father. You know what I mean? The more he keeps talking with all of this racist rhetoric, it can give, in other words, it stops letting Austin be painted as just this innocent hero. I also think if the family was smart, they would do some type of lawsuit against that school district. Like you say, it's time to be on the offensive for narrative reasons, because up to this point with the counsel that they had, the narrative didn't look like they didn't make it seem, or maybe they assume, people are going to know that Carmelo's innocent and he was the victim. Not in the system of racism, white supremacy. The Metcalf family had a lot of benefit from the media trying to make it seem like the public needs to be sympathetic towards them. And that witness testimony, even though a lot of it was plagiarist or contemptuous, it was harmful. So like right now, honestly, I really don't have a timeline. It seems to me like they need to be very, very careful with who they're dealing with. And I think right now they're dealing with heartbreak, and they're dealing with so many people trying to tell them what to do. I don't like Charleston White, but he did make some points in terms of maybe like some of the people that are there, they don't need some people who maybe just look like us and they're only there to be an ambulance chaser, or they're only there, to build up to make it about themselves, and they really are not really trying to help them. I don't care what color the attorney is, if that attorney knows how to really turn it up about narrative, and they're going to do some of the common sense things that we're talking about. And if they do get a retrial, I hope that they move the venue somewhere else, because obviously he's not going to get justice in that county. I don't know in Texas, and I mean, like, I live in South Texas, but in just Texas in general, I'm not sure if they would allow that. Again, these are common sense things that you would think if he had a competent attorney, and I think that's going to be the argument that he's going to be able to make. I didn't have competent representation. And you know what I'm saying? That's my answer there.
Okay. All right. Well, anything else you want to let them know?
No, other than I appreciate you having this, having this live, and I enjoy listening to any and everybody that's reporting on this, because this is how I get the information, and you just gave me an opportunity to express myself and my thoughts. So
we appreciate you, Mr. Blue. We really do. We appreciate you over here. All right. Well, until next time, I appreciate you guys, and I'm out.